Do you have those days where you plop yourself on the couch, you look around, and you think to yourself, this cannot be all that there is to life? You're constantly starting from ground zero. You're stuck in the same loop of life, wondering why everything always is feeling so heavy. In this episode, I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what it actually takes to get out of survival mode and live a life that has the margin, the peace, and the freedom that I know that you desire. And no, it's not about scrubbing the baseboards or cleaning the toilets or making your bed. This is about the life that you were created for. Welcome to the Modern Homemaker Mom podcast. I'm your host, Jynae Schmidt. If you found yourself here, it means that you're ready to break free from overwhelm, create a peaceful, well-run home, and finally live with more structure, margin, and stability. Here you'll find practical rhythms, real-life systems, and faith-filled encouragement you need to simplify your home and reclaim your time so that you can show up fully for the life God is calling you to. Let's get started. Now, this episode is going to be 100% me being transparent. It's going to be about me sharing my heart on a lot of different things unapologetically, and I want you to hear me out when I'm sharing what I'm sharing because it's really close to my heart. I'm really passionate about it, and I know that what I'm going to be sharing in this episode it's just going to show you why I do what I do and why I live the way I do, because I think a lot of people misunderstand why I live the way that I live, why my husband and I, we've chosen to live a little slower, why I care so much about rhythms and structure, why our days at home, although they're not perfect by any means, why they feel steady, why they feel life-giving and full of purpose. Now I get it. From the outside looking in, it might just look like I've got it all figured out. Maybe I just found some homemaking hacks and it just, whoopee, it works for you, but it doesn't for me. I hear it. But maybe you've heard me talk about cycle syncing in the past. I haven't talked about that a ton recently, but I've talked about it in the past, and we're going to be talking about it a whole lot more coming up. So if that's something that excites you, you can be excited that we're going to be talking about that a lot more on the podcast here. But maybe you've heard me talking about that. Maybe you've heard me talking about decluttering or organization, time stewardship, and maybe you've thought to yourself, okay, that's great. That's super interesting. But what's the big deal about it? Why does this matter? So today I want to talk about exactly that, because the reason I live the way I do is not just because I love homemaking. Although yes, I do love homemaking. It's like one of my biggest life passions, but it's because I need to live this way in order to live well. And maybe you do too. And I know that from the outside, it might not seem like anything special. You might even be thinking to yourself that what I share here or what I teach in my offer is something that you could just go learn yourself on YouTube. And I've sat with that. I've pondered that. I'll be honest. But here's what I've realized. You might see tips. You might see me sharing hacks or hear me sharing hacks. You might see checklists or routines. But if that's all that you're seeing here, you're missing, honestly, I'm just going to say you are missing what this is really all about. Because this isn't about the hacks. This is about the transformation. This is about coming out of survival mode, getting your life back, and learning to live in sync with how God created you to function. And if I'm being honest, if you only see this podcast as homemaking hacks, you're going to miss it too. Now, let's jump into why I live the way that I do. So let me just say it plainly. If I didn't have rhythms in place, if I didn't sync my homemaking with my cycle, if I didn't declutter and organize all the things that we own, if I didn't steward my time with intention, if I didn't live this way on purpose, I couldn't live the life I'm living right now. None of this would be possible. I wouldn't be able to someday homeschool our children the way that we're planning. I wouldn't be able to run the online business that I run. I wouldn't be able to make margin for one-on-one date nights with my husband once a week, or friendships and getting together with my friends, or resting, or slowing things down and making time for the beautiful things in life. Instead, I would be stuck constantly starting from ground zero, constantly resetting, constantly spiraling, and constantly feeling like I am always behind. And honestly, friend, that's where I used to be. But this is what my life looks like now. Let me paint a picture of what this looks like in our real life. So we, at the time of this recording, are renting a small 956 square foot home on the side of a mountain just outside of town. It's not fancy, it's small, it was built in the 1980s, so it's a little bit outdated, although there have been some renovations done to it. But our home feels very peaceful and it feels very life-giving. We have backyard chickens. I go out every single day with my daughter and we collect eggs. Sometimes I'm cracking the same eggs on the frying pan for breakfast that I literally picked that morning. We have a big outside dog and cats. We actually raised 40 meat birds this past spring, and now our freezer is full of chicken we raised on the grass in our backyard. So we are self-sustaining as much as we can. We are homesteading in a very small scale, but we love it. I'm running this online business. I plan to homeschool when we get to that season of life, and I'm recording podcast episodes like this one you're listening to right now weeks in advance. Like the episode you're listening to today was probably recorded 4 weeks ago, because I'm always trying to make sure that the content I share with you is of value and is truly going to bless you. Now, why do I share all these little details about my life with you? Like, why does it matter? Because even with all of this on my plate, I am still able to have a peaceful home that does not suck the life out of me every day. Not because I'm wired differently than you, not because I have it all together, but because I've built these rhythms and systems that support my life the way that I want to live, the life I want to live. And I'm telling you, this isn't about being busy or constantly being productive. It's about building a life that actually works. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how it's not all about the chores. So I just want to be clear right now. It's not about how clean my toilet is. It's not about the fact that I made my bed this morning. This is about what a clean and well-managed home makes possible. When my house is in maintenance mode, now that's a framework I talk about and I teach my students in my course, I'm no longer spinning my wheels every day. I'm not spending my mornings trying to figure out what needs to be done, because there's margin, there's clarity, there's peace. And that allows me to actually show up for the things in life that matter. It allows me to have space for things like actual, real, true rest. Like ask yourself, when was the last time you had real rest? I get to be present with my daughter. I get to dream, to plan, and to grow. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things at the right time in the right season of your life. So the things that matter most actually happen when they need to. Now let's move on to my next point, which is homemaking that aligns with your body and your current season of life. Now this is the part where I think most women are missing the full picture of all this, because the way I teach homemaking isn't just about the routines. Yes, that's important, but it's not just about the routines. It's not about plugging in a checklist and trying to copy someone else's day that you've seen online. It's about alignment. I've learned that my energy changes, my capacity changes, my needs change week to week, month to month, depending on what season I'm in this stage of my life and where I'm at in my cycle. And instead of fighting that, like we're kind of trained to fight that, I've learned after the past handful of years, I've now learned how to work with it. And it is beautiful. I plan differently. When I'm tired, I get inward. I have slower days in my cycle. I take advantage of those higher energy weeks when I have more clarity and drive. And I've built rhythms into my home that allow for both of those different seasons of my life. Because when I ignore that, when I don't align my life, my homemaking with my cycle, I burn out. And I'm sure you can relate to me. I'm sure you've burnt out before. I mean, most of us have. When I fight against my cycle, I get resentful. Like, I'll be honest, I get resentful about maybe my husband. It's like, oh, you just seem to always have it together. It's just like, you don't get emotional sometimes. And I get resentful of that. But when I live in sync with how God designed me, everything flows differently. And that's why I cycle sync. Not because it's trendy or because more people are doing it now, not because it's a productivity hack, but because it's the only way that I have found to actually live well as a Christian woman in this role with capacity and the season that I'm in. It's exactly what brings the peace that I crave. It's what gets me out of survival mode. It's what makes everything else work. Now, if you're still stuck, if you are still feeling stuck, if you're waking up and you're tired and you're going to bed frustrated and you're wondering why you can't seem to stay consistent, I want you to know it's probably not because you're doing everything wrong, but you might be living out of sync. You might be trying to do it all in a way that was never built for your season, for the energy that you have, or for your real life. And that's what this whole method is meant to fix, this method of cycle syncing. Because when your home is managed well and your rhythms match your body and your season of life, everything starts to feel different. You don't wake up defeated. You don't spin your wheels. You don't feel like your home is fighting against you, and you start to feel supported by your home. That is what changes everything. Now, why this impacts your whole life is because it's not about your kitchen being clean. This is about your marriage. Like, listen to me. This is about your relationship with your husband. It's about the patience you have with your children. It's about your health. Like, who would have thought that the way that your house is managed is about your relationships and your health? It's about your energy, and it's about your walk with God. When your home is constantly demanding from you, you don't have the capacity left for connection. You can't pour into your husband when your brain is constantly spinning. It feels like you got 100,000 tabs open in your mind. You can't enjoy the time with your kids when your body is fried and you're so exhausted by 10 a.m. And you can't fully hear from God and what He's trying to say to you when your entire day is wrapped up in stress and tension. And that's what happens when we don't have rhythms put in place. We live in constant reaction, always catching up, always feeling behind, always carrying guilt for the things that we were never meant to hold. But when you do have rhythms, when you're living in sync and you're stewarding your home on purpose, that's when the peace comes in. That's when your margin comes back into your day and life feels like it's flowing instead of drowning you. And that's what this work, what this method of having your cleaning rhythms and decluttering your home and making sure that there's organization in the cupboards of your kitchen, in the baskets of your children's toys, in syncing your homemaking with your cycle. This is what makes that possible. All of those things. It's not about the fact that you're scrubbing like Cinderella. Like, it's not about that. It's about the life that all of those things give you. And that is what I want for you. So, in summary of today's episode, this is what I want you to remember. This is what I want you to take away from today. Your home is either working for you or against you. Now ask yourself right now, which one of those two things is it right now? This isn't about keeping your house clean. It's about what a clean, well-managed home makes possible. I want to repeat that one because it's so important. It's not about keeping your house clean. It's about what a clean, well-managed home makes possible. It's that life that it gives you. Chaos at home creates chaos in your body, chaos in your mind, your marriage, and your walk with God. Now, you don't need another list of tips. You need rhythms that match your body, your season of life, and your calling. Stewardship isn't about doing everything all at once. It's about doing the right things at the right time. And when your rhythms are in place, you stop waking up behind and you start living with margin and clarity to show up and do the things that you really love in a day. Now, this is more than just homemaking. It's about living the life that you were created for. Now, if what we talked about today resonated with you, if you see homemaking as more than just sweeping floors, loading the dishwasher, and scrubbing the little fingerprints off of the front of your fridge, but as a lifestyle that gives you margin, peace, and the ability to show up for the things God has called you to, then I want to invite you into my VIP waitlist for the fall relaunch of Modern Homemaker Method. Everything I shared in today's episode, the rhythms I live by, the way I align my home with my cycle and my season, the systems that make this possible, it's all inside the relaunch of this course. This is the exact frameworks that have helped me live the way I do now, and I created it to help you do the exact same thing because I want for you what I have in my own life. I love it so much, I want it for you too. Now, VIPs on the waitlist will get first access to the course and a special discount deeper than anyone else is going to see. The public will not see the deep discount that my VIPs get. So if this is something that interests you, you're going to want to be on the waitlist. If you're ready to move out of survival mode and start finally living with clarity and intention, head to jynaeschmid.com/waitlist to join the list, or the link will be for you below in the show notes. Until next time, I'll see you next week, the same time, same place. Did something in today's episode encourage you? If it did, would you take a minute to hit subscribe and leave a quick review? It's such a simple way to support this show and help other homemakers find this encouragement as well. And if you're looking for even more support in your homemaking journey, come join our free Facebook group. Just head over to bit.ly/home routines. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you in the next episode.